Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your July the 30th just for today in a meditation. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. If you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recovery of hope 21 at gmail.com. The title of today's meditation is Regular Inventory. Continuing to take a personal inventory means that we form a habit of looking at ourselves, our actions, attitudes, and relationships on a regular basis. That comes from our basic text, page 42. Taking a regular inventory is a key element in our new pattern of living. In our addiction, we examined ourselves as little as possible. We weren't happy with how we were living our lives, but we didn't feel that we could change the way we lived. Self examination, we felt, would have been a painful exercise in futility. Today, all that is changing. Where we were powerless over our addiction, we found a power greater than ourselves that has helped us stop using. Where we once felt lost in life's maze, we found guidance in the experience of our fellow recovering addicts and our ever improving contact with our higher power. We need not feel trapped by our old destructive patterns. We can live differently if we choose. By establishing a regular pattern of taking our own inventory, we give ourselves the opportunity to change anything in our lives that doesn't work. If we've started doing something that causes problems, we can start changing our behavior before it gets completely out of hand. And if we're doing something that prevents problems from occurring, we can take note of that too and encourage ourselves to keep doing what works. Just for today, I will make a commitment to include a regular inventory in my new pattern of living. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Regular inventory. So this is definitely talking about our step 10, right? That inventory that we take. We continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So we're talking about doing this on a daily basis. The larger version of it was our fourth step, right? Now here we are moving along through the steps, applying the spiritual principles, and we are at step 10. So this is something now that we are incorporating. And here's the beautiful thing about it, everyone, right? Because I know there's several of you out there in the treatment center, several of you out there that are just starting, to work with a sponsor fresh for the first time or again, and you haven't been doing steps in many years, or maybe you've become complacent and you have a sponsor, but you're just not doing steps. Here's the good news, and this is what I want to share with you, right? On some level, you are already doing an inventory on a daily basis. And this is why I can say this, is because this is innate. This is normal for us to take a look at ourselves. Now, here in the first paragraph, it says, well, we really weren't too excited about taking inventory of ourselves, right? Self-examination wasn't high on our list. But even in the neglect of taking a look directly at what our motives were, what we were doing, how we interacted with people, a lot of that was camouflaged by, right, our high. But even in that, there were some moments of clarity where we looked at what we were doing, the getting high, and we said, this is not good. I am causing more harm to these people. And in some instances, we may have even tried to pull ourselves out of relationships or situations that we were causing harm in because we knew that this person, or we felt this person, would be much better without us. Okay. Now, I'm hoping you can relate to this because I'm going somewhere with it. Even in that, that is a form of self-examination. It's very unlikely that a human being can live a life from day to day if they have any form of sanity and being free from the use of drugs, and you are not able to do some level of self-examination. Now, you might not like what you see and not know what to do about it. That's different than not doing the self-examination at all. The majority of you are actually doing, in part, a step 10 on a daily basis anyway. Many of you are already doing a step 10 on a daily basis anyway. And you may not have labeled it a step 10. You may not have said, I'm going to do it every morning. I'm going to do it every night. But I guarantee you, if there is breath in your body and you are saying that you are doing some form of self-examination already, you have a pretty good idea when you owe someone an amends. You have a pretty good idea when you snapped on someone and you know you should not have done that. It's almost impossible not to be aware of our shortcomings and when we drop the ball and when we need to do some cleanup work behind it. Right? It's more difficult for us to be able to pat ourselves on the back, right? When we actually do what we're supposed to be doing, it's more difficult for us to say, you know what, you did a good job. You nailed that, right? It's more difficult for us to be kind to ourselves. But in the sense of being able to take a personal inventory of when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, we are pretty good at this stage of being able to say, yeah, I take an inventory of myself. All right. I just don't always know what to do with it. And if I know what to do with it, I might not really want to promptly admit that I was wrong, right? There might be some pride still in the way. Here's the thing. Breathe in. Just go ahead and take a deep breath. Just breathe in, hold it, count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blow out. Do that a few times. Calm down and listen to this news flash. We can choose to live differently at any point in time. If you don't know what to do with the information you're getting from your inventory on a daily basis, talk to your sponsor. Get busy on those steps again. Recommit to the process of recovery, because I believe you're probably, if you're like me, you are already doing a regular inventory. Just sometimes you're so exhausted with a certain situation and you don't feel that the other person is cleaning up their side of the street. So why should you clean up your side of the street? Or you just feel defeated, like you literally don't have a desire to continue to, you're just barely holding on, in other words, to staying clean. All this deeper stuff, trying to figure out your motives and clean up stuff and apologize immediately when you know that you've done wrong. Yeah, so sometimes it becomes overwhelming. And a lot of times, what that has to do with is self-care. So if that sounds like you, where you know you can live differently. You can choose at any point in time to be unstuck and do this inventory and free yourself. If that sounds like you and you are just kind of over it, you're kind of at a rut in recovery. If that sounds like you, I would dare to say the majority of the time, the issue is your self-care. You are not doing the things that you need to do in order to care for yourself. Resting, making sure you get enough rest, making sure that you have some positive fellowship. Not that gossipy type, not that backbiting, lying, not that dog eat dog type recovery. I'm talking about upbuilding fellowship with other individuals that you really thrive when you're around them. Okay. 9 times out of 10, you're not doing coffee with anyone, you're not calling anyone, and you're not taking calls, right? So our social life is important as well, but it has to be a positive social life, right? Something that's healthy. A lot of people today don't take time to actually cook a real meal and eat properly. If all of your energy is coming from foods that are foul, they are, food that has been preserved and prepared and it's not clean eating, no vegetables, no fruit. Everything is coming from a fast food restaurant or a snack bag or something of that nature, high in sugar, where you'll get the energy really, really quick, but you will also crash really, really fast, right? Maybe you need complex carbs in your diet. Change how you eat. This is something that I do for myself every day. I make sure that I take the time to have something healthy. I rather almost not eat at all if I can't have something that is healthy for me. So I run to Sam's and I get all of this stuff to make smoothies. I keep salad fixings around the house, right? And there's junk here too, but there's some specific things that I do for myself. Now, I am a person more of a pescatarian. I love fish. I love seafood. Um, I can eat chicken and turkey, but not as much as I will seafood. And I can have red meat. I love a good steak here and there. I grill a lot for my family, right? I mean, it's summertime. I'm not even cooking in the house that much anymore. I throw vegetables on the grill. I throw whatever it is we think we want to eat. I usually put it on the grill. Okay. So I try to make sure that I'm eating a meal that I've prepared. I've chosen the vegetables. I've looked at them and decided that this smells good, this feels good, is ripe, just the right amount, right? That's something that I'm learning makes me feel well. It makes me feel happy, right? So self-care is important. And when you are doing those things, drinking your fluids, right? Exercising, now that I need to work on. If I really want to take my recovery up and over the top to the point where my feet won't touch the floor, I just feel so good every day, all throughout the day, I need to up my exercise game because that is deeply spiritual to me, right? And when I'm neglecting that, there's this little bit of depression that keeps trying to, rear its head. But the key to unlocking that is to exercise every day, very, very early in the day, like 3 or 4 in the morning, before anyone is even awake. And you know what I think I'm going to do is bring my stationary, my stationary spin cycle out of the basement and back upstairs to where I can just have it as soon as I wake up and ride. Okay. So that's just for me. But I think that when a person gets so depleted and they are tired of the whole routine that comes with recovery, and they're not willing to actually do the work that results from this regular inventory that you 9 times out of 10 are doing anyway, it's because the self-care is out of whack. So today, what I want you to do is commit to yourself to look at these areas of self-care and see where you can do better. Because when you do better in the self-care, you will have the energy to actually do the work that comes with the revelations that you're already getting about yourself, right? And you'll feel empowered. See, because it says even here that we went from, let me highlight it really quick and then I'll let you guys go, okay? Look, it says we were powerless over our addiction. Where we were powerless over our addiction, we found a power greater than ourselves that has helped us stop using. But listen, this power greater than ourselves has done more than just helped us to stop using. It has helped us to find joy in everyday living, value in everyday living. But not only that, it has empowered us to do the things that we never thought were possible for us to attain. Now, I have some things ahead of me that I'm looking at them and I'm just saying, you know what? I just don't want to be one of those people that get all the way down to the road of graduation and I don't pass this state exam. Now, I'm concerned about that. But because of my recovery, I know that I can change my outlook by the energy that I put into it every day, right? Time management. Everything that I want to do, in order for me to accomplish it, it has to be done by 6 in the morning. Now that means that I need to go to bed much earlier, maybe even 9, 8:30 even sometimes, in order for me to do what I need to do. So I have been empowered as a result of recovery to be able to do the things I need to do, right? That 11th step, which is where this is headed, right? Through prayer and meditation, we maintain conscious contact with God, asking only for a knowledge of his will and the power to carry that out. And that's where we're trying to go, right? Because like I told you before, that's where the grace flows from, to be able to actually move and do things, not effortlessly, but with a freedom within your spirit that feels authentic. I've enjoyed talking to you. My name is Mighty Stream. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. And I hope that you will take this meditation July 30th seriously and receive everything that you deserve to receive from it. Have a beautiful day on purpose as you do your regular inventory.